Morning guys, it's Jono here. Start of Australian corporate reporting season this week, so it's going to be busy in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The likes of CSL, Telstra, Commonwealth Bank, trading statements I think from Macquarie and NAB as well, all a feature of the ASX this week, but also two companies that matter to us, such as Challenger, Amcor, Woodside and Downer, all due to report. The impact of the coronavirus is now starting to have an impact on the local economy here in Australia. Remember that we send about 30% of our total exports to China, and most of that is raw commodities, LNG, iron ore, copper and the like, and we're now starting to see a bit of an impact as the Chinese buyers push back on their ability to take some of these cargoes. So a few of the big utility companies in China tried to declare force majeure on LNG cargoes last week, which is a negative for some of the companies and certainly an ongoing negative for LNG spot prices. We also saw BHP seek to renegotiate some terms on copper shipments into China. So it's actually starting to have an impact on export revenues and on corporate profitability, given that this is our largest purchaser of raw materials. Unsurprisingly, the currency last week ended virtually at an 11-year low in the mid-66s, and I do think it'll soften up further. Last week, the RBA nevertheless gave a surprisingly upbeat assessment for 2020 growth, looking at 2.75% GDP growth, continued good employment, and a jump into the 3% range in 2021, which I think is very pie in the sky, and maintain the view that we stand at least a strong chance of a negative quarter of growth in the first quarter, maybe even two, bringing about that technical recession, which I do think is threatening for the first time in 30 years. In terms of politics in the United States, it was a bit of a much ado about nothing last week, with the Democrats shooting themselves in the foot with the Iowa caucus, so that's great for markets and great for Trump. We have New Hampshire tomorrow morning as a primary in the United States, so do keep an eye on that as well. And then from a stock standpoint, guys, you have to acknowledge the rains that we've had across the eastern seaboard in the last week and seem to continue for the coming week as being an incremental positive for Nufarm. That stock just needs a break at these sorts of levels, and trading on about half the multiple at a group level now that it sold its Latin American division makes it, I think, look really quite attractive and with really some pretty good upside potential. The other bit of news was Boral. The stock's a bit soft this morning with a profit downgrade, but on the positive front, we do seem likely to get management change with the CEO there looking to stand aside after full year results in a couple of weeks' time, and the company seeking a mandate for a new chief executive, which I do think will be a really well taken event in Boral, and hopefully we're seeing that stock now at the low point and looking to go higher. Anyway, really busy week. Hopefully we'll have some good news on results later in the week. Thanks.